Hi everyone, my name is Nika. Welcome back to my cloth diapering series, and today I would like to talk about the cotton layer of cloth diapering with cotton and wool. So just quickly, cotton acts as the absorbent layer for number ones and number twos, and wool acts as a kind of a barrier between your cotton layer and your baby's onesies, your couch, your rug, and so on, your own clothes. So we're going to talk about the wool layer in another video, so watch out for that. But today we're just going to talk about the cotton layer. So as I said, if you ever spilled anything on a cotton t-shirt or cotton dress, you know cotton kind of soaks it right up. So that's what the cotton layer is for. It's to soak up all the number ones and number twos. It's very convenient because cotton is super easy to wash, super easy to sterilize and bleach in just like even the sun. So yeah, this is like the most convenient layer to have around your baby's body. That's kind of just that for what the cotton layer is. There are three main kinds of the cotton layers. There is a workhorse, there is a prefold, and then there is a flat. So I'm going to start with my least favorite and move towards my most favorite cotton layer. Okay, so the layer that I thought was going to be my favorite, but actually is my least favorite, is the workhorse. So the obvious pro of this is that it's already shaped. So Minimus to the rescue. So you just like pop it on your child here, and then you just snappy it, or you pin it, or you can actually buy ones with inbuilt snaps already, so that's even easier. So it's like minimum work, you just put it on and you're good, you're Gucci. You don't have to do any kind of folding. The second pro of these is that it is very absorbent. So you have 8 layers in this area and around 8 layers of fabric in this area. So it's very absorbent where it needs to be most absorbent, but at the same time, it's like, I would say medium bulky out of the three, because most of the absorbent layers are here, and here you just have a fringe to catch any kind of spillage. So it's medium bulky, which is also very nice. Yeah, so these are the pros of these. The cons of these are, first of all, these are the most expensive out of all three. So these can range between $11.50 to $15 per diaper, which is still going to make your stash cheaper than buying hundreds of disposable diapers a month. But if you're trying to save money, this is something to think about. The second con of these is actually the elastic. So in the beginning, I love the elastic because it helps you achieve a tighter fit and it prevents any kind of spillages. And it gives it like this disposable diaper shape where you have this little like fringe to catch any kind of blowout. However, as your baby wears this and as you wash it and put it in the dryer or even line dry it, the elastic over time starts losing its ability to bounce back and keep that like tight shape. So if you're planning to use these on like several kids or reselling them, this is something to think about, because these will like stretch out and essentially become like this, and the seal, after the elastic stretches out, the seal is not great and actually is, I think, worse than just folding a pre-fold or a flat. Another downside of these is because of the stitching, the extra stitching here that attaches the pad, for example, or like even here where the elastic is built in. Because of that, it's a little more difficult to wash out number twos from here. If you like your diapers completely bleached, you might have to do some hand washing to get the stains out, because even the sun doesn't always like get to these like folds. The next downside of these is if you are buying the ones with snaps, I've seen people complain that snaps end up ripping the fabric over time, and even here, like even the elastic, I don't know if you can see this. These weren't used very often because my baby grew out of them like in like a second. But here, like the fabric starts breaking down. I know some people like take out the elastics and sew a new elastic in. I really respect them for that. I would never do this. But again, like you can see the fabric is already kind of breaking around the stitching area. So the lifespan of these is relatively limited compared to the other styles. The second style is a flat. So a flat is just one layer of fabric. As you can see, this is kind of gauze style of fabric. There's also bird's eye style of fabric on Green Mountain diaper website. All of these are bought on Green Mountain Diaper website. None of this is obviously sponsored. It's one of my first videos. You can buy these on other websites again, and you can even like make these yourself. But I've tried buying fabric, and I'm not really good at like figuring out what kind of like exactly what kind of gauze fabric I'm buying. So I end up buying fabric, and it ended up being way too thin for my purposes. So that's kind of a waste of money. So it's just easier for me to just buy these. So this is a flat, this is a single layer of fabric, as I said. The pros of these is these are cheapish. So these go for $4 a diaper. I actually thought these were the cheapest, but they're not. Prefolds are actually cheaper if you buy the smaller sizes. The obvious pros of these is that because this is a single layer of fabric, these are by far the easiest to wash, and these are the fastest to dry. So you have to run your dryer machine for way less if you're using just these, or they're very fast to line dry if you're doing that. Another pro of these is because these are not pre-shaped, you can get these very, very tight on the baby's body. So it could, like, as long as you like manage to fold them correctly, you're pretty much guaranteed not to get blowouts unless there's a big, big explosion. And the last pro of these is that these are the most trim out of all of the diapers. Because again, this is a single layer of fabric, so you can make it very, very like trim on the, like very, very small on the baby's body, which will allow your baby to fit into more onesies and more pants. So for obvious cons of these is these require the most folding, and some of the folding will require some skill. I don't use these very often, and I'm not very skilled at using them, so sometimes I will put them on, and 20 minutes later, like there's giant gaps between my baby's thighs and these. So if my baby goes number 2, that is a problem. The second obvious con of these is these are by far the least absorbent because it's one layer of fabric, and even if you fold it, it's still one layer of fabric. You can reinforce them with pads, but you do have to buy like extra pads extra. So now the prefolds. The prefolds are by far my most favorite type of cotton diapers. So let me show you. There are different sizes of these. There are different sizes of the workhorses as well, and the burp cloths kind of come one size. So you can see there are different lengths here. This is a newborn. This is a size small, just pretty much the same as medium, to be honest, which is the next size up. Medium, large, and I also have an extra large size. The sizes are shown by the stitching over here. My babies are 95th percentile height-wise, and they fit into a large from about 5-6 months old up until they are 12 months old. So the stash of like these large ones lasts a very, very long time. So the pros of these is, like flats, these are easy to wash and pretty fast to dry, a little slower than flats because these have like 8 layers of fabric here, and I think like around 4 layers of fabric on the sides, but they're still pretty easy to wash and pretty easy to dry. Sometimes you have to hand wash this little part if the baby's poop gets on here, but mostly just washing machine, dryer, and you're Gucci. These are also very adjustable, and I would say that these are much easier to fold than the flats. You don't even need to fold them super, super perfectly. Your baby will most likely be sealed very, very well in these without much skill. And I think actually these have the longest lifespan out of the 3. I already said for the Workhorse that the elastic and the stitching kind of shortens their lifespan. In comparison to the burp cloth, these actually live for longer in my opinion because, at least this gauze burp cloth, because I don't know why, but this loses like fibers very, very fast. So I feel like this will form holes way, way earlier than even like a single layer on the outside of these diapers. Like these have been used for 2 years, and like, I don't know if you can see, but these look like perfect. There's no issues, there's no thinning anywhere that I can see. These are perfect, and I think that these can last. I've seen people use these for like up to 5 kids, you know, so these last a long time. And if you're not planning on having 5 kids, you can just resell them as long as you like take good care of them, you know. Oh, and these are like cheapish. So I think the smallest size sells for like $2 per diaper, and the bigger sizes sell for like $5 per diaper. And if you buy them in packs, I think that goes for all of them. If you buy them like in bulk in packs of like 12 or 6, you get discounts. And you can also buy these in advance, so you can buy them when there's a sale going on. So these are like not really expensive at all. So for the cons for these, for the prefolds, the cons of prefolds are these are by far the bulkiest, which means that your baby is not going to fit in the majority of conventional brand pants. So you have to buy like harem style pants or like knit stretchy pants to fit over your baby's giant booty, which to me is kind of cute. I like when my little babies have like this like giant, they're crawling or like doing the down dog pose, during the down dog pose, and they have this like giant round booty in the back. It's very cute. It's also a very nice cushion for them. They fall in their butt. Yeah, so that's the first con of these. And the second con is that this requires folding. But again, as I said, the folding is not very difficult with these. You just kind of like either roll them up or you do like a little fold like this. And or like even if you know your baby's not going to go number 2, you just fold it like a pad and you use it like a pad literally, and that's it. So you can buy these bleached or unbleached. All of mine are unbleached just because I prefer to have as few chemicals around my baby's like skin as possible. I know some people prefer bleached because you can see the stains better on these, but honestly, I've never had an issue with these. These don't smell like anything but cotton. Like they're slight stains, but I can see them. I can just bleach them in the sun, but there's no issue with the stain because the diaper is clean and it is sterilized. The only downside of buying the unbleached ones is that you'll have to prep them for a little more than you have to prep the bleached diapers. So prepping a diaper means putting it in the washer and dryer a couple of times to distress the cotton fibers to make them more absorbent. Because these originally, like before you put them in the washer or dryer, these are barely absorbent. The water kind of drips right out of them. But once you distress them in the washing machine, they become way more absorbent. And as your baby wears them more, they become even more absorbent. So because the unbleached ones, the unbleached fibers contain the natural oils of cotton, it will take you more times to wash these diapers to get them absorbent. But again, you just need to throw them into the washer, into the dryer, into the washer and dryer. Like it's really not that big of a deal for me. So it's not I don't consider it a big con of the unbleached diapers. With regards to care for these diapers, it's super simple. You just kind of put them in the washing machine and then you put them in the dryer or you line dry them, and that's pretty much it. I wash mine every 3-4 days. The only kind of like spraying or hand washing that you have to do is for number 2s as your child gets older, because when your child starts eating solids or is formula fed, I believe, the poop is not water soluble, so you have to spray that off into the toilet. But again, minor inconvenience. So some people have very complicated wash routines for these. I've seen people put the diapers on like pre-wash or like several pre-washes, and then a wash cycle and then a rinse cycle, or like a soak cycle as well. I have a very simple routine. I think the reason why people have issues with these is detergent buildup. So I put very little detergent. So for this many diapers, this is a small load. I only have one child who's potty trained right now. This is the amount that I'll put in for this load. 1 and 2. This is sufficient, in my opinion. On my machine, I have this bright white setting, but what it essentially means is that the heat is a little hotter than warm, the spin is a little like pretty high, and then I put an extra rinse and it comes out to around like an hour usually. Sometimes if the diapers have been inside of a diaper pail for a couple of days, like more than 3 days, I will put them on pre-wash just to like make sure I sterilize them. But usually I just put them in on a hot 1-hour cycle, and an extra rinse just to make sure all that detergent gets washed out. And that's pretty much it. So super simple. But yeah, this is all I can remember regarding cloth diapering with cotton. please leave any questions below if you have after this video. I'm sure I didn't think of some things, but overall, it's like, it might seem daunting at first, but it's not very difficult. To me, it's a very rewarding experience because I know, first of all, I'm not producing much of trash in my surroundings, and also my babies' like bodies are not put into these like plastic wet vacuums, which is a very comforting thought to me. But yeah, let me know if you have any questions, and I hope you'll consider cloth diapering with cotton and wool. And watch out for the video regarding the woolen layer, which will be coming soon.